telling them what they're going to do. The camel is unrolled and the four-way hand control is removed. The air supply lines are connected between the airflow power source and the camel, matching each air supply tube to the corresponding number and color connector. Push them together until secure. After the person has been positioned safely on their side, the caregiver places the lifting cushion next to the person, making sure the Camel logo is aligned with the back of their head. The caregiver assists the person onto the center line of the lifting cushion, making sure the back of their head is on the logo and their hips and legs are properly aligned. If the person cannot or will not cooperate with the caregiver, the slide sheet is employed. To use the slide sheet, first position the person on their side facing away from the camel. Place the camel alongside the person with the logo near the back of their head. Place the slide sheet on top of the camel and then tuck it under the person. With a log roll movement, roll the person onto the slide sheet. Place one hand on the person's shoulder and one on their hip. Then gently push the person towards the center of the camel. Once the person is in the correct position, the slide sheet is gently removed. The slide sheet is composed of slit double layers. To remove the slide sheet, simply pull on the lower level of the double-layered sheet. The caregiver should be careful not to remove the sheet abruptly. Once the process has been explained, the caregiver operates the four-way handset to control the lift section by section. The caregiver gives reassuring support by placing their hand on the person's shoulder or arm. There are 4 buttons on the four-way hand control. Button number 1 inflates the head support section. This section should be inflated just enough to make breathing easier and to provide head and neck support for the person. Then the caregiver pushes button number 2 to inflate the 2 lower sections concurrently, providing a rigid base. This button is held down longer than the others because 2 sections are being inflated at once. Buttons 2, 3, and 4 are held until the compressor automatically senses that the section is full and stops. Overinflation is impossible. After section 2 is inflated, the caregiver should return to the back support section to make sure the person is still supported properly. Now, button 3 is pressed until this section is completely inflated. At this point, many people won't need section 4 to be inflated to stand safely. However, for taller people, section 4 should be fully inflated. The caregiver should make sure that the person's feet and knees are properly aligned. Before attempting to stand or transfer the backrest, button number 1 must be fully inflated. The caregiver will need to assess options for standing or transfer. The person may simply stand up and walk away, stand with the assistance of a walker, or transfer to a chair or wheelchair. The lift having been safely achieved, the camel can be deflated by simply removing the air supply lines that connect the camel to the compressor. To disconnect the air tubes, pull down on the color-coded collar, then pull the tube out. Place the four-way hand control in the rectangle on the underside of the lifting cushion and roll the cushion like a sleeping bag. Then return it to the carrying bag. Return the camel to where it is stored.